everybody, and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here, and today is a very exciting day. It's the first time in 6 months I will be in a fully opened park, and I'll let you guys wait just a little bit to find out what park. But right now, let's mask up and head in.
Before we get into the park, I wanted to say a huge thank you to our newest member, Caden, for supporting what we do even more than just liking and subscribing.
Well, you probably guessed it by now, but we're back at SeaWorld San Antonio for the first time in a year. Hopefully the rides are open this time. Hey, pal. So we finally got into the park. It actually took us about 20 minutes to get in because the line was so hectic. But we're over at Sea Lion Point, which is their little sea lion exhibit. I haven't been over here, actually. We only came to see the show last time we were here. But I did want to talk about everything that's going on with like COVID and stuff. People weren't following simple instructions like wearing a mask or social distancing, or I mean, heck, people were just cutting in line when we were waiting for 5+ minutes. So just be wary. SeaWorld San Antonio so far, not too good following the rules. Now I gotta say, compared to San Diego, this exhibit is huge and has a lot more water, which is kind of cool. But I love the theming too. They tie it back into the stadium itself, which is really cool.
Each tray does come with 4 separate people.
So I actually got the name wrong. It's the Pacific Point Reserve. I'm so used to San Diego. But they have little Asian small-clawed otters. They are absolutely adorable, and I love watching them swim around like this. So cool to see an exhibit like this. Something we don't have in San Diego, and I would love to see over there. But hey, nice to actually see exhibits at this park, because that was a big complaint last time. Oh, you see that little turtle? That was so cute. And that's not the only otters you can find. Hey, pal. How you doing, buddy? They have African spot-necked otters, too, which are a lot bigger, I must say. Much bigger. Yeah, definitely a different species, I can tell you that right now. Holy cow. They're huge. Even though a lot of things have been negative so far, there's at least one positive. The coasters are freaking open this time. Oh, thank goodness. Now, while steel eel would be an awesome option right now, it is going through its cleaning cycles, so we wouldn't be able to get on it at minimum for another 15 minutes. So we're actually going to head over towards Wave Breaker, see if that's ready. And it looks like it is, as it comes in between this mess of steel. Super excited to try out Wave Breaker. I've heard a lot of good things. Super excited for this. A little later on, hopefully. But it's getting hot. So right as we got to Wave Breaker, they're doing their cleaning cycles as well, which is good to see. I'm glad they're cleaning down every once in a while. But super excited. Hopefully we can get on Wave Breaker, because I've heard too many good things. Right, Mario? All right, second new coaster of the year. Hopefully the wait's not too bad. Probably going to be about 20 to 30 minutes, but that's totally okay for me.
Please remain seated. Favor de mantenerse sentados. All right, Tracy. Looks like you've been assigned a dolphin rescue. Are you ready?
That was way more intense than I was thinking it was going to be. I know it's supposed to be a family coaster, but man, that was edging on me on thrill. Holy crap, that was a lot of fun. Wow, way more than I was expecting though. Really loved it. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Anyway, as I was saying, Wave Breaker, the rescue coaster, a heck of a lot of fun. The laterals on this are extreme in comparison to what I thought it was going to be. Some of the best laterals I've ever felt on a coaster, actually. Just flung you side to side with each turn. It was really unexpected. But now we're about to have steel eel go overhead, and that's hopefully my next stop. Hopefully I can get on steel eel, no problem. We only waited 20 minutes for Wave Breaker, which was not bad. but there were a lot of people in line not following social distancing whatsoever. Like, they were literally breathing down my neck, and I was like, dude, come on, really? Really? With the pandemic going on too? But anyway, let's head to Steel Eel. Hopefully it's as good as people say. I always found it hilarious how this ride has 2 different entrance signs. Really funny. I guess 3 technically if you count the events pavilion too, but that's closed off right now. But hopefully the line's not too bad. Hopefully I can get on Steel Eel pretty soon. February. Oh boy. Well, that was Morgan if I've ever ridden a Morgan. Holy cow. Is that okay? Oh my gosh, that was... Yikes. Wow. That was all the floater air time I could ever ask for. That's insane. That was ridiculous. I might have to ride this again for sure. Steel Eel. What a ridiculous coaster that should not exist. I'll tell you that. Wow, that was as much floater air time as I've ever gotten on any ride ever. That was the most floater I think I've ever gotten. Just sustained for 6 to 7 seconds at a time. But I will say this, it is a Morgan for sure. Not as rough as something like Magnum, but at the bottom of those hills, jolts your neck a little bit, just to let you know. So that's why I was a solo rider on that one. But man, Steel Eel, favorite ride in the park so far. That was ridiculous. I loved that. That was so cool. So definitely gonna hit this one up again, and thankfully there was no line at all. Hopefully that's the same for Texas Stingray, which is probably where we're gonna go next, because that's the newest ride here and my first new wooden coaster in a very long time. I also wanted to mention the virus doesn't go away when you're on a coaster. Just gonna say that. The people in front of me on that last ride on Steel Eel just took it off completely and held it in their hands for a while, all the way until they got into the station, which it doesn't help they were near the front, because if you're in the front, your vapor is going to go behind you. So technically they're putting us all at risk by not wearing their masks. So wear your freaking mask on a coaster, please. Don't take them off, please. Anyway, Texas Stingray, let's go. So because of how hot it is, we're actually going to step into Penguin Encounter, get the coolness of the Antarctic, hopefully for a little bit of time, and see some penguins for the first time in a very long time. And I gotta say, for as much as I like the San Diego version of Penguin Encounter, this one's definitely gotten some more recent love, and I love the style that they went with all the signage. Look, it's an emperor, and another emperor, and another... Wait a second, those are kings. Emperors in San Diego. Yeah, that's right, those are king penguins, not emperor penguins. They're a little smaller, have some different coloration. So yeah, technically San Diego, I think, is still the only place with emperor penguins in the US. I'm not sure though. I'll have to fact check that. Oh, he says yes. Maybe I'm right. And just like San Diego, they do have a puffin exhibit along with the penguins, even though they're technically on the other side of the world. Really cool to see these guys though. Now, while Great White doesn't really have that much of a line, actually, I don't know. I might ride it. Maybe. I'm tempted. You'll see in the next clip. I decided to go on Great White. I'm in the back right. Wish me luck. This is gonna be ridiculous. Hopefully I can survive, right? But there's a great view of Wave Breaker. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Same with Steel Eel and Texas Stingray off to my left. Oh boy, I haven't been on a Batman clone in 7 months. Oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready at all. Here we go, whip it time. a lot of fun. No wait for it either, which is awesome. Well, great white was running a heck of a lot quicker than last year. A little rougher, I would say, though, for sure, but a lot faster and a lot better. Definitely felt more like a Batman clone, that's for sure. It's now not my least favorite Batman clone that I've been on, but that was powerful, powerful. Now, Texas Stingray, the newest ride here, is next up. But I'll tell you, if I could have a dime for every person I've seen walking around with their mask under their nose or not at all, I could buy a separate park ticket at this point. It's really, really kind of sad. Now, I gotta say, this area looks a little different compared to last year. Looks a lot better, honestly, and more finished, which is great. No line, though. I mean, very minimal, at least. So, excited to get on a brand new DCI. There you have it. Texas Stingray running with people on it. The area is finished, but I can't help but think it is a little unfinished. Honestly, I wish it was a little bit more. Now, I gotta say, I like the queue so far. It just does seem a little barren because they did finish this ride up in February. Pretty much the only new coaster to open up this year. But I don't know, if you open something up in February, you'd expect a lot from it, I guess. And it feels like they could have taken another month or two and just done it up a little more, if that makes any sense. But I do gotta say, I like the queue so far, but lots of stairs. Oh, I'm going right under the track. That's kind of crazy. And I gotta say, it's really loud. Stingray looks incredible from this viewpoint, especially with the steel structure and the wooden supports. So cool. I mean, just look at that. I gotta say, I'm more excited for this coaster than any other today, because I've heard it's ridiculously smooth and just relentless. Looks like those assumptions are right, because that's what it's looking like. Excited. And here we go. Texas. That was one great wooden coaster. Holy cow. Very smooth, very smooth. Not butter, not complete butter, but that was really dang smooth for a wooden coaster for sure. Definitely opening year for sure. Like, oh my goodness, that was incredible. I love that. Texas Stingray. I might have to get a couple laps on this one because there was barely any line too, which was really nice. But this and Steel Eel, those are my top two so far, I would definitely say. So Texas Stingray was quite a lot of fun in the back. I don't think my favorite coaster or anything, or favorite wooden coaster. I don't even know if it's my favorite coaster in the park. Steel Eel, I think, still holds that for me. But I'll be honest, Texas Stingray is a standout wooden coaster, at least in the back row. I want to try the front because a lot of people say the front's the best. But man, lots of laterals, lots of airtime, lots of just fun. Really enjoyed Texas Stingray. I think it's a standout wooden coaster for sure. I don't think I'd put it above like Ghost Rider or Ravine Flyer 2 at the moment, but maybe if I ride front row, that'll change, so we'll see. So stopped over next to Orca Encounter, which is the brand new Orca show that they have, more focused on like education and stuff, which I think is a better idea overall. But we're looking at Texas Stingray from this vantage point. I'm definitely gonna get some footage from here. But man, can't wait to get back on this. Just check the line. It's about 3 times longer than it was for me earlier, and it was about a 25-minute wait, so I don't want to wait on that right now. I really want to get a second ride, though, on Texas Stingray if I can. I really want near the front, if possible. Hopefully that happens. But if not, Steel Eel is another option that we can always check out. Wavebreaker, I wouldn't mind another ride on that, to be honest. But yeah. Super excited to keep checking out more of what the park has to offer. But speaking of Orca Encounter, we were tempted to check it out, but right when we walked over here, the line was stretching all the way back to here, and it looks like people are already in the top rows, so I don't think Orca Encounter is going to be possible today because this is the last show, at 3:30 today. So something I forgot to mention was the fact that the beer fest is going on, kind of like an Oktoberfest event where we can get a free beer. So let's check it out. Now, we're not exactly sure. We were told that we could get a free beer with this event, but it seems like it's only priced at least over here. So hopefully we're wrong with it not being free.
So for Beer Fest, we do get free beers. Super excited to try out these little samplers pretty much. I got a Shiner Oktoberfest, so happy to try this out, especially since it is an Oktoberfest themed event. So I figured, why not, you know, try out some Oktoberfest. So I gotta say, really enjoy the Oktoberfest from Shiner. Actually, pretty good. The lager though, not too big a fan of. It's a little bit of a light lager for my taste at least. But they do have a live band from Germany. It's really cool to see that, and especially when they're speaking German to the crowd and everyone's like, huh, what? And I'm just sitting there like, I get you. Oh, okay, this song's about some grandma in Munich. Love it, so cool.
While it was brilliant to get that nice little taste of Germany again after so many years, we're gonna head back to Texas Stingray, see how bad the line is. Hopefully it's not bad, because I want to get another ride for sure if possible. Heck, I'll wait another 20-30 minutes on it. But once we do that, probably head to Steel Eel, and then probably head over to Discovery Cove before heading out of the park entirely, because I've done everything I've wanted, and sadly, although the show for orcas is going on right now, filled up pretty quick, so I'm not gonna be able to check that out. And I think that's the last show of the day too, which really stinks. But oh well, hopefully because everyone's in Orca Stadium, Texas Stingray won't have a line, but we'll see. So, Texas Stingray may be a front row coaster. I'm not entirely sure, because back row, while a lot was better in back, a lot was better in row 5. So, it'd be cool to get a front row ride, but the line is getting longer, and we've only got about an hour until park closed too. So, I'm going to try and get on Steel Eel at least one more time before heading out. But man, Texas Stingray is an amazing wooden coaster. I love it. The twister layout is incredible, and there's a lot of weird random pops of airtime that I really loved. But we're going to head over to Steel Eel, at least for the time being. While as cool as it would be to get another ride on Wavebreaker, quite the queue has formed for it. So probably not another ride today, at least. I might be back next week maybe, but we'll see. But Steel Eel, definitely next on the list. All right, time for one last ride today, and I think it's gonna be Steel Eel. I'm thinking this is probably my favorite coaster in the park too. It's really, really a fantastic ride. I mean, for all the wrong reasons, but heck, I love it that way. But man, one more ride on Steel Eel for sure. I just wish Texas Stingray had a little bit less of a line, but oh well. I gotta say, I love this area though, like the entranceway. Even though this technically isn't the queue, it is an entranceway to the ride, and I love it. So I gotta say, Steel Eel in the front row, it's just mini Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point. It is ridiculous. It's everything that Magnum offers except it's floater instead of ejector. But one thing sadly that I did notice, I was the only person to use hand sanitizer after getting off that ride. The only person on the train. Like, we're all in this together. Like, we all gotta participate to make this go away, you know? But sadly, that has not been the case at all today at this park. Which really just stinks. So we spotted some construction that has obviously been halted, but supposedly this little area right here is where the brand new attraction that was supposed to be opening in 2021 was going to go. Obviously that has been delayed or canceled. So we come over to my favorite lookout of the park, where it's actually a face covering relaxation zone. So technically I could take off my face mask over here right now. I don't know if I will personally. I don't feel comfortable necessarily even with just relaxation zones, but I get it. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you should be fine. But I just want to get a nice shot of all the amazing coasters over here, like Wavebreaker and Steel Eel. Can't really see Stingray or Great White from over here, but man, these two pack a real punch, and I love them both. And if you want some big theme park fish and or turtles, you'll find them in this lake for sure. These are massive.
So as much as it's been an absolute pleasure coming back to a park, I have to say it is a little concerning how many people haven't really taken to the rules as much as they should. I mean, I've been pretty much the only one distancing in lines, at least around me. I've multiple times been the only person using hand sanitizer when getting on or getting off of a ride. So that's just, it's very concerning. And especially with masks, you know, a lot of people aren't wearing them around the park, and they're using little loopholes like drinking while they're going. But a lot of the time they're not even doing that. Some of them are just having it plain off. Now the ride ops have been great about telling people, even while we're in the middle of a ride, keep your mask on. But everywhere else, I feel like it's a little lackluster, to be honest. And by the way, I am still in that relaxation zone. As you can see, I've got the coasters behind me all just overexposed. But I love being back at a park, but it's still fairly concerning what I've been seeing today. All right, mask back up. Let's leave the relaxation zone. Let's leave SeaWorld San Antonio and go over to Discovery Cove and check out some dolphins and maybe some sharks, you know? Why not? Let's see some exhibits that don't sadly exist in this park. Man, I would love some more exhibits at this park still. Bye, SeaWorld San Antonio. You were interesting. Love the rides, love the park. I do think it needs some work, but we'll talk about the negatives a little later on. But right now, let's go over to Discovery Cove, the free section of this park complex. Well, we've made our way back to Discovery Point. I feel like I have to whisper now just because of how serene the area is. This is actually where the dolphins are, and this is free. So if you don't want to visit the park, you don't want to pay the money, or go to Aquatica, if you have a day in San Antonio, it's cool just to see some dolphins and sharks. Now, it's obviously pretty hot right now. That's why they have all the umbrellas out. It's a really hot day. I got up to 90 with 90% humidity, so it's been a little rough. As much as I love this area, though, a lot of people not distancing, like, whatsoever, especially while viewing the dolphins, and nobody's telling them otherwise. Like, exhibit probably 136 today. At least where we're standing, we're a good 6 feet apart from the next group. But yeah, sadly, not going to be going into the shark area today, I don't think. I'm not going to be going to the underwater viewing because there was a huge chunk of people that just went down there. Probably a good 20 to 30 people. Probably not the best idea to be indoors with all of them. So just finished up a day at SeaWorld San Antonio. As you can see, it's very humid, very hot, especially under a mask. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't wear one. Please, whenever you visit a park, I know if they're open everywhere except for California, but if you're at a park, please wear your mask at all times. Unless you're standing off to the side and eating or drinking something, just wear a mask. Like, that was my biggest complaint coming to SeaWorld today. I don't know if it's just a Texan thing or if it's just a human being thing, but half the people here, at least, were not wearing their masks properly or at all throughout the park, even on the rides. Like, I get it, it's kind of tough to wear your mask on some of the rides. I even had to pull it up at some points, like on Steel Eel and Texas Stingray. I did have it come off my nose. But that doesn't mean just take it off completely. You know, the virus doesn't go away while you're on a roller coaster. It's always around. So you want to make sure to be as safe as possible when you visit these parks. Sanitize a lot, wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay away from other people. I mean, you saw it in Discovery Cove. That was kind of how it was with a lot of places today, especially in queue lines, which really makes me sad because I felt like I was the only one trying to do all of my part, you know? And when only one person does that, doesn't stop much because you have the majority just doing whatever the heck they feel like, which really, really discourages me a little bit. And I know a lot of people are really sad about parks not being open in California, and I do understand that in California, it seems like we have it down a little bit better than at least out here from my one experience in Texas, at least this year with everything going on. But it does worry me coming to a park like this and seeing kind of how it was. It does worry me quite a bit. So, I mean, I loved being back in a park for sure. It was amazing to get back on some incredible roller coasters. Those were amazing. I mean, you couldn't really see my face, but I was smiling ear to ear on most of those rides. But yeah, it really does stink that a lot of the guests took away from the experience this time, which really stinks. I hate that a guest can really kind of damper an experience in a park, but it's very true. I mean, there were definitely a couple of guests where it was like, you should probably back away. You're breathing down my neck in this queue, and I don't really appreciate it. I mean, just in general, let alone a pandemic, you know. So with that said, though, it's great to get back here. Great to get on the coasters that I missed from last time round. And I really do think it's a great park. I just wish it had more. I wish it had more flat rides and especially exhibits. It needs more and more exhibits. Because today, yes, the rides had about a 30-minute wait on average, but all the shows were taken up with all the seats being taken. So we weren't able to see any shows because of how busy it was. And we didn't really get to do too much. I just got rides on coasters and we ducked into Discovery Cove for a little bit. But it's kind of making me rethink going to Six Flags maybe while I'm out here. We'll see. I'll have to make a decision on that soon. But SeaWorld San Antonio, fantastic rides. Kind of stinks about everything with how it was being handled, at least in the guest viewpoint and standpoint, with masks and distancing and sanitizing for sure. So make sure you do those when you're at a park or in public in general, just because the more you do that, the less we have to worry and do that, if that makes any sense, in the future. So anyway, that's me done rambling. SeaWorld San Antonio, fantastic rides. And I hope I can come back eventually just to check out whenever they have a new ride. But until then, we'll see you on the next ride.